Ready to read some truly awful mystery? We're going to the back alleys of Amazon, the lowest ranked mystery books released in the last 30 days. I haven't read these in advance, they've just been picked because they ranked low and they look pretty interesting. Keep watching to the end to discover who's going to be this week's King of the Slush Pile. Let's go. First, we have The Librarian's Secret. Also missing an apostrophe. The story unfolds within the hollowed halls of a grand old library, a place where the weight of history rests upon the shoulders of countless books, each holding its own unique narrative. But this library holds a secret, a hidden Atlantis far more intriguing than any lost city. Yeah, who needs the cradle of civilization buried at the bottom of the ocean? This is way cooler. It lies not in some far-off, unexplored land, but in the heart of the institution itself, obscured by the very system designed to organize and categorize its vast collection. Is this an author writing what they know about the Amazon search algorithm? At the center of this mystery are three individuals. Evelyn Reed, a librarian who has silently defied the rigid structure of the Dewey Decimal System for years. Rebelliously revolting against the Dewey Decimal System. Warriors unite! Mr. Finch, a reclusive writer who leaves cryptic messages within returned books. And Sarah, a sharp-witted intern who discovers their shared secret. Their unlikely alliance is born from a shared defiance of the ordinary. Like that Dewey Decimal System, it's gotta go. And an unexpected capacity for friendship. And an adjective noun for noun. This book is a tribute to the hidden pathways we create in our lives, the secret rebellions that shape our characters, and the unexpected connections that weave themselves through the tapestry of everyday existence. It is a mystery, yes. I hope so. You're in the mystery genre. But it's also a celebration of the power of observation, the importance of collaboration, and the enduring beauty of human connection in the most unexpected of places. You know, everything seems so unexpected in this blurb that I don't know what they expect. Within these pages, you will encounter the quiet drama of a library, the suspense of a literary puzzle, and the heartwarming journey of three individuals who discover that the greatest treasures are often found not in distant lands, but within the most familiar of surroundings. Prepare to be transported to a world where the lines between order and chaos blur, where secrets whisper from the pages of forgotten books, and where the most unlikely, again, unexpected, unlikely, what's expected in this world, of friendships blossom into something extraordinary. All right, with a blurb like that, yeah, let's find out, shall we? Preface. The idea for this novel okay, no, I'm not reading all of this. Let's get to the meat of the matter. Introduction. The story unfolds within the hallowed halls of... No, can we just get started, please? Evelyn's secret system. Is the apostrophe key broken on their keyboard? Just asking. Evelyn Reed, at 47, possessed the quiet precision of a seasoned surgeon. Though her operating theater was not a sterile room gleaming under antiseptic lights, but the hushed, book-lined aisles of the Grandview Public Library. For years, she'd been performing a delicate, almost imperceptible surgery on the Dewey Decimal System. A secret rebellion played out amongst the orderly rows of knowledge. Like a surgeon, taking down the Dewey Decimal System. It wasn't a malicious act. There was no intent to disrupt the flow of information. Rather, it was a subtle, almost artistic reimagining of the system, a private game she played to inject a spark of unpredictability into her otherwise predictable life. Her adjustments were minor, almost invisible to the casual observer. A book misplaced by a fraction of an inch, a deliberate shuffle of volumes within a specific classification, a calculated gap left between two seemingly unrelated texts. Are you okay, Evelyn? Do you need help? To the untrained eye, it would appear as nothing more than a slight imperfection in an otherwise flawless system. But to Evelyn, these minute alterations were the thread of a hidden tapestry, a secret network of pathways that only she knew. I mean, is she like Matthew McConaughey in Interstellar trying to communicate through threads through these books? Following these pathways, one could stumble upon unexpected literary juxtapositions, serendipitous pairings of books that sparked unexpected connections and conversations. You know, come here, author. Unexpected, it's not your friend. It began innocently enough, a small act of defiance against the rigid structure of her professional life. Yes, she hiked up her skirt, quarter of an inch one day. The Dewey Decimal System, with its cold logic and unwavering rules, had always felt stifling to Evelyn's inherently creative spirits. Yes, tear down the categorization. Do it, Katniss, do it. She craved the unexpected. You know, if you turn this into a drinking game, you would be in the hospital in like 5 minutes. The serendipitous encounter, the thrilling stumble into the unknown, the yearning found expression in her subtle manipulation of the system, a quiet rebellion played out within the hallowed halls of the library. Evelyn's motivations were complex, woven from threads of boredom, a quiet dissatisfaction with the predictability of her daily routine, and a deep-seated yearning for something more. The library, a place of order and precision, had become a canvas for her quiet acts of rebellion. I get it. Can we move on? Move on. The shelves, once symbols of rigid categorization, were transformed into a labyrinth of her own design. The very act of subtly rearranging the books was a small act of creation, a way to inject a touch of chaos into the controlled environment. Well, I'd like to inject a touch of chaos into this for sure. The meticulousness with which she performed these acts belied the sense, I can't do this anymore. I can't do this anymore. I'm moving on. The mystery of the missing cookies. Cookie Monster will be most displeased. The Great Cookie Caper is a whimsical children's story set in the delightful gingerbread village, where houses are made of cookies and gardens bloom with lollipop flowers. When cookies start mysteriously disappearing, a colorful cast of characters including Mrs. Crumble, Mr. Frost, and the mischievous Gingerbread Twins embark on a hilarious investigation. I mean, those names are just so clever, I can only imagine how funny this is going to be. Following trails of frosting footprints and sugar crumbs, they encounter suspicious muffins. Are you sure this is kid-friendly? Bakers with grudges, and even cookie-stealing squirrels. Wait a minute, did you just give away the ending here? This charming tale blends mystery, humor, and the sweet lesson that sometimes the best adventures are the ones shared with friends. All right, let's take a look inside. Chapter 1, The Great Cookie Caper, The Valley of Gingerbread. In a land not too far from here, where the clouds floated like cotton candy and the rivers sparkled like fizzy soda. Well, wait a minute. If it's the Gingerbread Valley, why aren't the clouds just made of cotton candy, and why isn't the river just soda? Lay a village that could make even the grumpiest of grandpas crack a smile. Welcome to the village of gingerbread. Picture this: houses made of cookies, roofs adorned with gummy bears, and gardens boasting lollipop flowers. But apparently the clouds are normal clouds and the rivers are normal rivers. Just remember that. It was a place where every corner smelled like a bakery and every resident was either sweet or a little nutty. Unfortunately, it was also the scene of a perplexing mystery that had everyone scratching their heads, and not just the gingerbread men. I mean, the gingerbread men have been constantly perplexed since they realized that they just wear a couple of buttons and apparently women have to wear full outfits. Sexist much? The village was home to a peculiar cast of characters. There was Mrs. Crumble, the town baker, who claimed her cookies could make anyone sing like a pop star. Auto-tune cookies, now available at your local Publix. Then there was Mr. Frost, the village mayor, who only spoke in rhymes and had an unsettling obsession with jelly beans. Is there such a thing as a not unsettling obsession with jelly beans? And let's not forget the Gingerbread Twins, who were always getting into trouble, whether it was getting stuck in a giant cupcake or trying to ride a chocolate-covered roller coaster. Yeah, it's always a bunch of trouble when you try to ride an attraction that people make for your amusement. The moment you entered this village, you'd be greeted by the aroma of baked delights and a chorus of giggles. But beneath the sweetness lay a mystery that had everyone on edge. It all began when the cookies started disappearing one by one. No one knew who the culprit was, but the villagers were quick to point fingers. "It must be the Cookie Monster," someone shouted. "Told ya." While another insisted it was the mischievous S'mores gang from the neighboring camp. Meanwhile, the Gingerbread Twins were convinced that the gingerbread ghost was haunting them, stealing cookies to build a cookie castle in the afterlife. Now wait a minute, I always heard you can't take it with you. If you can take cookies, then I have to make some major life changes. As accusations flew faster than sprinkles in a bakery, the tension rose, turning the once jovial village into a place of suspicion and sour gummy worms. Determined to solve the case, the villagers organized a town meeting, which quickly devolved into a debate over who had the best cookie recipe. "My chocolate chip cookies could win a baking contest," Mrs. Crumble declared, waving her rolling pin like a sword. Mr. Frost jumped in with a rhyme that left everyone confused but chuckling. If cookies are missing, it's not the dog. It's a sneaky little frog. He could work on his meter, though. That was a little rough. The meeting ended with a feast featuring the very cookies they were trying to save, proving that even in the depths of a mystery, one could not ignore the power of dessert. Because let's be honest, who could resist a good cookie? As the villagers munched away, the gingerbread twins had a light bulb moment. They decided to become detectives, armed with a magnifying glass made of candy canes and a notebook fashioned from waffle cones. As long as they don't make the car seats out of biscotti, because I'd be really uncomfortable. They set off on their quest, questioning the villagers and inspecting every cookie jar in sight. Along the way, they discovered that not all cookies were created equal. Cookieist. Some were just too crumbly for their own good. With each clue they gathered, laughter echoed through the village, reminding everyone that in the end, it was not just about solving the mystery, but about enjoying the sweet moments shared in the village of gingerbread. Yes, let's not have too much tension or intrigue. We might actually, motivate the audience. Let's end this with Detective Carter and the Labyrinth of Deception. Apparently, he's melting into a worn-out Berber carpet. A crime thriller novel centered on Detective Alex Carter's investigation into the murder of Dr. Emma Brooks. A ruthless businessman, Marcus Reed, and his complex wife, Sophia, emerge as key suspects, their motivations intertwined with a wider conspiracy. Carter's investigation takes him through the city's underbelly, encountering numerous allies and adversaries. The narrative follows Carter's relentless pursuit of the truth, revealing hidden connections and unveiling a sinister plot that threatens the city. But apparently the author wants to keep all this really close to the vest, so I don't exactly know what's happening. Ultimately, justice is served, but the experience leaves Carter profoundly changed. Well, let's see how profoundly will be changed. Character profiles. No, I'm not doing this. Chapter 1. The shadow lurks. As the rain pounded mercilessly against the window panes, Detective Alex Carter sipped his lukewarm coffee, his gaze fixed on the flickering screen of his laptop. The murky underbelly of the city sprawled before him, a labyrinth of interconnected cases and hidden connections. His mind raced, piecing together the fragmented puzzle. So I'm already confused. Is he looking at, the sewer system map or something? Dr. Emma Brooks, the brilliant neurosurgeon, whose life had been tragically cut short, haunted his thoughts. Her death was more than a mere loss. It was a catalyst, a trigger that had sent him on a relentless pursuit of the truth. Then maybe we should be starting with that moment? Marcus Reed, her enigmatic husband, remained a shadowy figure. His alibi was airtight, his demeanor impeccable, but beneath the surface, Alex sensed a simmering darkness. His determination to uncover Marcus's secret was unwavering, yet he couldn't shake the feeling that he was treading on treacherous ground. And I can't shake the feeling that this is generative AI. Sophia Reed, Marcus's estranged wife, had provided crucial information that had led to a breakthrough in the case. Her vulnerability and strength had intrigued Alex, but he knew he couldn't let his personal feelings cloud his judgment. As the night wore on, the lines between justice and vengeance blurred. Alex's determination to right the wrongs that had been committed consumed him, but he couldn't deny a glowing sense of unease. The shadows that had once seemed distant were now creeping closer, threatening to engulf him in their suffocating embrace. You know, for a detective, he sure seems to suffer from anxiety really easily, right? I mean, you just started the case, dude. Intrigue at the hospital. Dawn was breaking when Alex received a call from the hospital. Dr. Brooks's autopsy report had revealed a startling anomaly. A surgical implement, a scalpel specifically, had been found embedded in her body. This was no random act of violence. It was deliberate and calculated murder. So they cut up this woman and they left it in her body? Worst criminal ever. Marcus Reed's deception. According to Marcus, Emma had been mentally unstable, suffering from delusions that he was plotting against her. In a moment of desperation, he had killed her to protect himself and their unborn child. That's his airtight alibi? That would be called self-defense, and he's a grown man. That's not going to be easy to prove. The pieces of the puzzle still refuse to fit together. Sophia's accusation. I mean, these make James Patterson chapters look like Brandon Sanderson's. A little book nerd humor for you. I think finally you got that. As Alex delved deeper into the investigation, he discovered that Sophia had been the one to anonymously report Dr. Brooks' disappearance. She claimed that Marcus had been abusive towards Emma, a revelation that cast his confession in a different light. I mean, yeah, if you're really gullible. Alex arranged a meeting with Sophia, hoping to clarify the truth. She spoke with a trembling voice, recounting the horror she endured at Marcus's hands. But as Alex pressed for more details, her story began to falter. The inconsistencies in her narrative raised suspicions, leaving Alex torn between believing her and questioning her motives. You know what'd be great in some of these stories? Yes, dialogue, talk, how about we actually see some action? Ouch! I have to say, it was hard picking the king of the slush pile out of these three, but just because of pure masochistic delight, I'm gonna have to go with The Librarian's Secret. I mean, somebody trying to undermine the Dewey Decimal System? It's too good. It's just too good. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this look at the back alleys of Amazon, and I'll see you next time. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for more videos.